Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little extra grody, you might have noticed, but if you watch the show, you already know. I'm a little bit grody, so. But anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am indeed wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is not the case today. This is another one of these semi-mystery items that I bought at some point, and finally I'm getting around to drinking. So yeah, this is one of those things where it's, and I've brought it up plenty of times. When it comes to doing these reviews and stuff, the way that I'm able to sort of like keep a decent backlog is basically anytime I go out places, if I go to a gas station or the supermarket or something, I take a little extra time. I try to find stuff that I think might be interesting or unusual, something I can go over there and do a video for. And as a result, there's only so much space on my phone, because I do all these on my phone, and there's only so much time in the day. I end up with a bunch of stuff that, just kind of is there. So whether it's in my fridge or in my cupboard, sometimes I end up with stuff that I'm just don't know exactly when I got that. But what item is said mystery item today? Well, folks, it's boom! It is XL energy drink. Classic flavored. It is taurine and caffeine. It's from New York, apparently. It's made in Poland, so this is another Polish one. Okay. Then I do kind of remember this. All right, first of all, let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, so, okay, then this has been a little bit. I bought this some months back now. Yeah, I stopped off at this little supermarket that I'd never been in, and they had a little Polish section. And I always like going to international sections, just find interesting stuff. So, yeah, okay, let's give it a go. Let's find out what this particular Polish energy drink tastes like. Let's open it up. Open. Boy, oh boy, does that smell like generic energy drink to me. Let's give it a go. Okay. So it is generic energy drink flavored, which if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, energy drinks, I've been alive long enough that, I was there, basically, at the onset of energy drinks in America. And first we got Red Bull, and then eventually we had Monster, that kind of came out. And then we just got flooded with all of these super generic bullshit energy drinks that just lasted 12 minutes and then they, were gone forever. And they all kind of had the same flavor. They were all filled with caffeine and taurine, and they just kind of have an overall general citrusy flavor. Best way to think about it is think classic green Monster, but a little bit less good. At least with Monster, I think as time has gone by, I think they've sort of worked on, because I know with Red Bull, they did go over there and change the recipe. When it first came to America, it had a different taste, and they went over there and changed it to make it more appealing. I still think it doesn't taste very good, but, so yeah, every now and again you'll still find energy drinks that basically are still just working with that old style recipe. This is basically that, but to its credit, it actually does taste, it's that, but it tastes like a better version of that. It's actually got a pretty striking flavor, and it doesn't taste like cigarette butts at the end. And I'm not shitting you when I say that I have had energy drinks where it's there's no way that someone didn't go over there and, just they were on their smoke break and they didn't go over there and tap the ash into the fucking liquid vat. It is, I've had some very bad energy drinks. But this is not one of them. Even though, yes, it is working off that somewhat generic citrusy kind of flavor, it's actually pretty nice. Like, this is an example of like, okay, let's take that flavor, but let's amplify the things it does well and try to mitigate the things that it doesn't do well. So the citrus flavor is really nice. It's actually, whoa, oh, okay, it's one of at the time I'm doing this, it's 2024, and it's the cicada apocalypse. Like, all the cicadas were out. This is one of them just flew onto my my windshield. It's only the second one I've seen personally, but everybody's been talking about them. But yeah, so the citrus flavor is really nice. It's really striking, and I don't know if that's doing a good job of covering up the sort of crappy aftertaste that these sometimes have, or if they just managed to pretty much nix the aftertaste altogether. But like, it's nice. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a tartness to it, but it's not overly tart. They're not like overcompensating. Yeah, I genuinely think they just went over there and took that classic energy drink blend and just accentuated the good things about it and managed to kind of either hide or get rid of the bad stuff. This is actually really nice. I wish more fucking energy drinks, I'm not going to say I wish more energy drinks tasted like this, but I wish that at the very least, if you're going to do the generic energy drink thing, put in a little effort, This goes to show you can make that happen. Yeah, I like that. That is perfectly fine and good. Now, all that said, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, as for me personally, am I going to go back to that supermarket that I genuinely can't even remember which one it was at this point, specifically to hunt this stuff down? Probably not. This is a good energy drink for what it is, but at the end of the day, it is still in the same vein as those older style energy drinks. And I do feel like we've sort of moved on from that for the most part. There are so many flavors and so many varieties that are available now. I don't personally think that I need to tag this one in as like a regular go-to, but at the same time, if, let's say I just had another one in my fridge, or, maybe I went to somebody's house or something like that, and for whatever reason they gave me an energy drink, I don't know, I wouldn't have any problem with drinking it. It's nice, it's actually pretty tasty. The only thing that kind of works against it is, again, just the fact that it's been done. I don't particularly need to embrace that flavor again when I have other options, but I don't mind it. So, for myself personally, I probably wouldn't get it again, but certainly I wouldn't go out of my way for it. But, again, if somebody just gave me one or whatever, sure, I'd be fine with that. If I'm recommending it, though, first of all, you'd have to find a supermarket that sells the stuff, but I'm going to go with kinda. When it comes to energy drinks, it's a thing of like, what are you looking for in the energy drink? Do you want it to taste good? Are you more just strictly utility? Because I know for myself, like, I like it when an energy drink tastes good, but a lot of times I really just need the caffeine. Like maybe I'm driving someplace late at night, or maybe I've just had a long day at work or some shit, whatever it is. So for me personally, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. If it tastes nice, that's a benefit. For me with this, it's like kind of somewhere in between, because I see it as more being a utility drink, but it does taste good. But like, again, there's just ones that I personally prefer. But if I'm recommending it, it's like, yeah, okay. If you run into it and you want to try it, I think it's fine. Again, think in a very similar vein to kind of how Green Monster tastes. Just maybe actually a little bit tastier. Maybe. It's been a while since I've had Green Monster, so it's not bad. If you enjoy that energy drink flavor, and you know what I mean when I say that, this falls in line with that. But again, I think it's actually done a lot nicer than most of them. So, sure, give it a go. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly, surprisingly tasty-tastic rest of your life. I don't know that you want to be tasty. I guess it depends on the context of what tasty means. It could be a good thing. Maybe not so much if you're running away from cannibals, but Although, if they're cannibals, are they going to give a shit? You know, they've already decided they're eating people. Does it matter if it tastes good at that point? I don't know. I imagine that's probably how. I imagine it's probably how they look. I imagine it's similar to how I look at energy drinks. It's probably a utility thing for most of them. They're just like, look, we're eating people anyway. If it tastes good, it's a benefit. But otherwise, if nothing else, we can wear their face as a skin mask. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important that we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, I mean, first and foremost, I'd like you, if possible, to avoid being eaten by cannibals. I would say, like, well, do your thing and, whatever. You know what, I'm gonna kind of call an audible on this one. Don't get eaten by cannibals. Like, even if it's like some weird bucket list item for you, I'm going to say amend that list, It doesn't, I mean, yeah, I guess you are feeding people, so, I mean, there's that, but, there's just a whole stigma that goes along with that. So don't get eaten by cannibals if you can avoid it. And if you can't avoid it, then I doubt that this video is helping you very much, but who knows? Maybe you'll go over there and you'll be running away from cannibals and you're like almost out of energy and about to be eaten. And then you remember this video and you're like, no, I have to live on because Brandon told me not to be eaten by cannibals. And I believe that you can go about your life and not be eaten by cannibals. I think the vast majority of us can make that happen. Anyway,